Do you know the retention period of metadata within your employees' emails? This sounds like an awkward question, but it's a very hot topic in Italy after the guidelines issued by the Italian Data Protection Authority that even fined a company for a retention period that was deemed to be excessive. Let's deep dive into this topic during the time of a coffee break. Last year there was a sort of panic moment for many organizations because the Italian Data Protection Authority issued some guidelines requesting a specific retention period of the metadata of employees' emails. Metadata can disclose considerable information about the employee's behavior, and indeed, according to the Garante, this metadata can become a monitoring tool. And because of that, their retention for longer than 21 days requires an agreement with trade unions or the authorization from the Labor Office if trade unions are not in place. This is not theory because recently the Garante issued a fine against a company that was retaining for 10 years, not 21 days, the metadata of employees' emails. The company responded stating that the longer retention period was just the result of the policy put in place by their email provider. That wasn't considered to be a sufficient defense because the Garante argued that it's on the data controller, it's on the employer to set the retention periods. And the potential negligence or lack of service from the provider is not an excuse. As a consequence of that, the Garante issued a fine against the company, requested in any case to reduce the retention period and to reach an agreement with trade unions or obtain an authorization from the Labor Office. And indeed, the company was both sanctioned and obliged to perform implementing actions. So the solution is not that any company needs to retain metadata only for 21 days, but if the company wants to retain for longer such metadata, it should go through a process that requires these agreements with the trade unions or the authorization with the from the Labor Office, the implementation of a DPIA, the adoption of a legitimate interest assessment, and everything should be clearly reflected in a detailed privacy information notice. And what about your company? How long does it retain metadata of employees' emails? Reach out to us by email or through a call to discuss it further. Arrivederci.